You talking a little basketball?
Yeah.
It's time for basketball.
Cavs
guys.
crushed the Jazz last night, Bull.
They did.
They let them know.
They did
Lord.
hashtag let them know.
No.
Despite the fact they got nothing from Darius Garland yet again. The rest of the starting lineup was fantastic.
Yep.
Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley both scored 21. I think they combined for about 20 rebounds.
Yep.
They had like 10, I think they each had 5 assists.
They had 7
and they
guys
had
with
one
5
turnover
assists,
between them. That was the best they've ever played together. I know it's a crap team. I know it doesn't really mean anything towards the playoffs, but all right. I mean, Mobley's playing better now.
Mobley's playing very well. Yeah, it's funny. The one thing we know about the Cavs is they're inconsistent.
Am I shocking you all that I'm being positive about the Cavs right now?
The one thing we know about Cleveland over the last month is their inconsistency. They haven't won back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Back-to-back, just 2.
Yeah.
Since the end of February.
Right. Who do they got next?
They play Phoenix tonight.
Oh,
which is what matters. Phoenix not coming off a back-to-back.
Yeah.
Utah's a team trying to lose, by the way. They are intentionally tanking. They have to keep their own draft pick.
I hate when people say that. The players are not trying to lose.
But they're sat, Lori. Marketing. They sat 3 of their 5 best players.
But when you say that, it makes it seem like the players are trying to lose.
The players never try to lose. The team has no incentive to win.
The franchise doesn't care about winning.
However you want to say it, they are not competing with the true intention of winning. The Cavs absolutely smoked them last night.
Yeah.
Utah did what Charlotte tried to do last week and what Miami did 2 weeks ago against pick and rolls, which was blitz, try to get the ball out of Darius Garland's hands. Last night, we did that whole film breakdown last week, G. They went out that night against Charlotte and laid a giant egg. Mm-hmm. Well, last night, he kicked it out to either Evan Mobley or Jarrett Allen, and those two made tremendous decisions off the backside, 3-on-4, 4-on-3, whatever situation you looked at. Mm-hmm. Both bigs had 5 assists.
Yeah.
To me, that was the most impressive part of the whole game.
Right.
Darius
and
got
no
the ball in his hand.
turnover. One turnover between
the two. Yeah, 10 assists between the two, 1 turnover.
Yeah.
If Darius is going to kick the ball and let those two play 4-on-3, and they could lead the operation with the efficiency they did last night, they're a really tough team to guard.
You know what's
However,
interesting?
Utah's one of the worst defensive teams in basketball.
Right.
You can't really look too much into it.
You know what's interesting is Darius Garland didn't really shoot the ball.
He had 6
which
attempts.
he never does. I mean, he played 31 minutes or whatever.
2 of 6.
Yeah, that was weird.
I think
But it worked. I mean, everybody else, LeVert played well. Strus played well.
Merrill.
Your boy Merrill.
Can I give you a Merrill stat? 9 times this season, he's hit 5 or more threes off the bench, the most of any player in the league.
Is he making shots in the playoffs when the teams are really playing defense? That's what I need to know, G. Bush.
He can.
He can.
Is he?
We'll see. He can, though.
He can. He's the other, though.
You can't bet on it, though.
Yeah,
you can't bet on it.
Like, the Cavs are really good against these type teams. Like, they're good against teams that are, like, kind of look like them. Like, the Jazz got a lot of pieces and parts. But, when you look at them, it's not like, oh, my goodness, the Jazz are coming to town and they got this person that's going to give you 25, and this person's going to give you 22, and that guy's going to get you 12 rebounds. It's kind of one of those things where it's a collective where you don't know what they're going to get from each individual person. But the Cavs, to me, they just remind me of the late 80s, early 90s Cavs, right? Looking at it and trying to figure out what these guys are and who they are. And I was just looking at some stats, and you look at from even some of their best years. So go to the 91-92. That year, I believe they won 57 games, 57-25. They finished third, behind the Bulls and the Celtics in the Eastern Conference. And you look at it, and you look at the guys they had on that team. Brad Daugherty averaged 14 points. Nance averaged 13. Craig Elo averaged 11. Hot Rod gave you about 9. Mark Price gave you, 12 points. That's nice. That's real cute. The guys, good guys, good solid dudes, played basketball the right way. But when you start to look at who they were going against in that era, it just wasn't enough. When you go into these playoffs and you got Pippen and Jordan, the best 2 players in the series, you're done. Yeah. You go back to you play the Celtics. You got Bird or you got McHale or or Parrish. Like they got the best 3 players in the series. So in the NBA, when you look at what the Cavs are able to do, Caris LeVert, they look good right now. Trust me, I like it. But that's a middle of the road team in the playoffs. If you play a Celtics team, if you play a Bucks team, if you play now Joel Embiid is back. If you play those teams, they got the best 2 players, arguably, in the series.
And I think, and part of that is because Donovan Mitchell right now is not Donovan Mitchell. And let's face it, there's no way he's going to be right by the playoffs. How can he be? And that's why ultimately it's hard to get excited right now because at least if Donovan Mitchell were healthy, you'd have a chance to do something. But, Mike, I look at Donovan Mitchell right now. He looked terrible in those first 2 games back. He had to sit out yesterday because of the knee. Like, how do you have any faith that in 3 weeks he's going to be ready to go in the playoffs?
Well, last night was a scheduled rest. Like, that wasn't a setback. He's playing a back-to-back.
No, I know that, but the fact that he needs to have scheduled rest.
I don't think he'll be 100%. I think the only way he's going to get to 100% is literally taking 2-3 months off, which obviously they don't have the ability to do.
So they were unlikely to make a good run even if he was 100%. Without him 100%, I don't think they have any chance. That's why it's hard to get excited.
It's matchup dependent. I still think they can beat Indiana if Donovan's not 100%. I still think they can beat Orlando if that's the matchup, if he's not 100%.
The bottom line is,
but to make a legitimate deep run, I think it's going to be a Mount Everest level task for them to beat
Everest?
Yeah.
Everest.
Yeah. Everest.
Well, Everest-esque. I combine the two words.
And you can make
it'll be like climbing Mount Everest. It's possible. Most people can't accomplish it. They could go on a run. I mean, it would take a heroic turnaround from Darius Garland. It would take Evan Mobley to unlock his three-point shot. You need Jarrett Allen to go back to how he was playing in December and January. You need Sam Merrill to continue shooting and making 6 threes a game. You need Caris LeVert to not be up and down, to just be the up level of Caris LeVert. You need George Niang to find his playoff self from 2 years ago. You need Dean Wade to get healthy.
You need to pretend Dean Wade matters.
You need to have JB Bickerstaff find out how to manage the game properly in the fourth quarter. Like, you need all these things at once to come together, which is it impossible? No. Is it probable?
And you need the other teams that they playing against
to
not to play their best.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you like I asked Bull when I don't like the Guardians, I ask about prospects. I don't like this team. What can I look forward to?
Amani Bates isn't helping this team in the playoffs this year. He's not in the playoffs this year.
No. We're not talking about that. See, he jumped the gun on me. What I need from you is by the time they made this trade last year, you gave up Lauri Markkanen, right? Mm-hmm. You gave up Colin Sexton, and you gave up these picks. Where am I getting better? Where in the trade machine? Where in the as a general manager, as you're looking to figure this thing out, assuming that you don't get any picks or anything like that, or you don't trade Donovan Mitchell, how do you go about making this team better next year? What do you do?
Is Donovan re-signed? Because nothing matters until Donovan resigns.
Well, he's not going to re-sign.
If Donovan resigns,
if he doesn't resign, what are you doing?
You trade Donovan.
So you would trade him.
If he says I'm not signing the extension, you have to trade Donovan. You have no other choice.
So this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't let him play out and walk for nothing. So you have to trade him.
Okay.
And if he does resign,
then what?
I think everyone on the roster is up for.
Then you
up on the table.
Right. The problem though is, let's say he does resign, that'd be great. Then you maybe think about trading Darius Garland, but what are you going to get for him right now?
His value's at an all-time low.
Right.
And I'm not trading Mobley. I think if you're going to make a move, Garland's the guy you would theoretically move, but I just don't think
he doesn't have a ton of trade value.
The return on
but
that.
Let me ask you guys this: when the season ends, all right, let's say the Cavs get to the second round of the playoffs and get smoked in the second round, whoever they play, which is not an unlikely scenario.
All right.
Boston, Milwaukee, one of those two.
In the end, if they get punked in the second round, do you really care that will them winning in the first round be meaningful if they get punked in the second round?
That goes back to my Cavaliers. We were talking about of the 90s. The Cavaliers of the 90s, or 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, they were the fourth best team in the East. No one remembers those teams. And we
outside of Cleveland.
And you know what? We finally remember them wrongfully because I'm looking at some of the numbers and I'm like, but y'all didn't win nothing. But I feel like we're in that place again where it ain't enough. We talk about people coming back from injuries, and if this person get healthy, and if JB figure it out, and if they can play together and gel as a unit, man, look, these other teams, Joel Embiid is Embiid. You don't
have a top 15 guy.
You don't have anybody who can do. Tatum is Tatum. You don't have nothing to rival Giannis.
Yeah.
If they show up in your gym, you're dead, especially it's playoff time. So sometimes for me, I'm in a point where I love it. They right there in the middle, but I can't fool myself and think that
Right.
It depends.
And even the Knicks, who don't really have a player better than Donovan Mitchell,
But they got
They're
one
a better team.
They're just better.
It just depends on your expectation. If you think this team could legitimately win a championship at fully healthy this season, which I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. But if they were 100% healthy and they got to the second round and lost, it's a giant disappointment. I think, and we talked about this when we did the topic maybe a month ago, like who's closest to winning a championship, the Guardians, the Browns, or the Cavs? I think their ceiling with the current roster construction, with Donovan and Darius being theoretically your two best players as undersized guards and two non-shooting bigs, Mobley can change. Mobley's made a couple more shots. The 3 against Philly on Friday was big. Made another 3 last night, but he's not a shooter yet.
Right.
You're capped. So second round exit is kind of what I think is
second round is good.
It kind of is what it is.
It's kind of like good. Like if you want to be cute about it, like if you beat the Heat or the Magic
it comes down to is good enough. Is good, and that's a whole different question.
Right,
is good enough?
Well, depending on that goes.
It depends on what you want. Are you in the business? Are you in the business of championships? Because if that's your business, good is not good enough.
As a fan, you always want to win a championship. And it's always a level of disappointment. I think now, like looking back at the Browns season, it was a satisfying season to some degree, but it's never fully satisfying unless you win a championship.
For me, I knew it was something. I questioned that because when Brad came in and he talked back after the season was over, we had Campy Russell on the show too. You hear Kobe Altman talk, you hear JB Bickerstaff talk. When you get people that are saying the same thing and marching the same company line when it says we won 51 wins and that's something to be proud of, I question whether or not you are really in the business of really trying to win.
Yeah, I would never think of. It's different with football because every game matters so much in the regular season. But to just win, to say it's an accomplishment to win 51 games in the regular season in the NBA, that feels totally hollow. Like, nobody pays attention to who wins the division.
No one cares. Miami won 43 games last year in the regular season.
It doesn't matter.
We don't talk about the fact that they were a poor regular season team. We talk about the fact they found a way to win 3 playoff series and reach the finals.
And they beat the Nuggets in the game. And they won one. Like, we've been here where LeBron had 66 wins a couple years in a row.
Yeah.
So my thing is I just don't know where to question. I don't know how to read the room. Because then Dan Gilbert comes out and says, I expect Donovan to stay.
Yeah.
And he don't say nothing.
He shouldn't have said that.
I'm like,
in fact, Donovan was asked about it, and he said he's not talking about it now.
Yeah.
So that was a bad sign.
That was
By the way,
bad.
one thing you guys mentioned LeBron. Have you seen the podcast he's doing with
JJ Redick? Really good.
Yeah. Did you watch the last one?
Where you talk about how they made him switch off JJ Redick every single time?
No.
They put out one this morning. I haven't seen the one this morning.
I saw a clip. Maybe it's the one they put out this morning, but I saw a clip that I was watching yesterday where Redick asked him, what took you to that next level in Miami? Not him personally, but the team. And he said that it was very interesting. It was 2 things. One was that after they lost the championship the first year, that Spoelstra went and spent time with Chip Kelly to watch the spread offense in football to see if it could translate to the NBA, which seems very weird. But LeBron thought that was huge.
I love the idea.
The second thing was, he said, was when we said, basically, he was like, yeah, I had to play much better. I didn't play well enough the first year. But he also said it was when Chris Bosh went out, and we said to Chris Bosh, he's got to hit that corner 3. Yeah. He's got to go out and be deadly from that corner 3. And once Chris Bosh was able to consistently hit that 3 and be a threat, that's when they went to another level. It changed the whole team.
The spacing, and you go back to that Miami team. LeBron could shoot, not a great shooter. Dwayne was a slasher. Could shoot, not a shooter. When you had Bosh working in the high post, it just clogs everything up. Now, basketball has changed drastically since 2012 when they won their first championship.
And you can't compare this Cavs team to that Heat team.
But
still,
the
big
principle
man
of spacing. And you got to the spacing in the Chip Kelly offense, the initial spread offense in football. Oregon, remember those teams? It was sideline to sideline. We can't recruit the same level of interior guys as a USC or a Georgia or an Alabama. So we're going to spread them out, make them chase our little guys. Spacing opens up so much. And the fact that Mobley on Friday against Philadelphia, it was a broken play. I still have no idea. Me and Ant and Earl were looking at this the other day. It worked, and it was a great shot because it worked. If he had missed that shot, we would have been ripping our hair out and yelling at the screen, what kind of freaking offense was that you designed? Because Darius ignored the play and just kicked it to an open Mobley in the corner. great shot. The fact he stepped up and shot that, the fact that since then he made threes against Denver and last night against Utah, it's a step in the right direction. He is not there yet. He's not.
Not close.
But it's a step in the right direction that at least he has the confidence to catch, rise, and pull without thinking and hesitating. Is this the right shot? Screw whether it's the right shot or not.
Yeah.
He has to shoot that. And it's a big if he can become a more consistent three-point shooter, at least confidence-wise, in these next 6 games and into the playoffs. I'm not saying the 2-big lineup is their best lineup. I do not believe it is. But you can survive stretches in certain matchups if Mobley will take that shot.
Yeah.
And having Mobley on the court is one of your 4 best players. That's undisputed. Your best players on the court should lead you to the best result basketball-wise. Yeah. And while I don't think it's their best closing lineup right now, and if you needed a bucket, 10 seconds left, I don't think Mobley's in that 5-man lineup. The fact that he's shown the willingness to shoot without hesitation and make those shots over the last 3 games at least gives me a little confidence that teams will have to look his direction for a split second before deciding to close out or not, which gives Darius and Donovan and Caris all the extra space to operate up top.
You know, what makes a really great player to basketball is like the creativity and the gumption to say, I'm not a role player. Like Tyrese Halliburton just woke up and was like, nah, bro, listen, it's cool. I'm not a role player.
I'm not another.
I'm not an other. Like, and most of it is taking those shots with confidence, being like, so what I missed? I'm not an other. I get to shoot that and it don't matter. Jarrett Allen, you can't shoot this shot. You go down there and rebound. I'm out here shooting this jumper. And when you hear Evan Mobley, like I heard him say, I was listening to the radio this morning, he said, I got the size. I've been, taking the ball to the basket, aggressively and just and making that contact and initiating contact and then hitting my shots when I get them. That's a big part of it. Like, hey, I'm going to get this ball. I'm going to initiate the contact, and the refs are going to give me that because I'm aggressive. This is what I do. And a lot of times you see, like I always wonder, and look, Donovan Mitchell wasn't drafted highly. He wasn't a national player of the year coming out of Louisville. But at some point, he just woke up and was like, oh, no, I'm better than everybody. Like, this is what it's going to be. And you start to see people's game develop. That, if they can get that out of Mobley, then we can change a lot of things.
All right, let's wrap up this Cavs.
Hold up on that Mobley thing real quick. And we pull up the 2 Mobley plays I sent you. They ran something yesterday that I've never seen them run for. The dribble handoff, the uphill dribble handoff one. They ran a play for Mobley yesterday. Yeah. I'm not going to break it down, but they've never done this in the history of the uphill handoff one. And I think it's the next one. Nope, next one. One more. This one. They've never done a dribble handoff for Evan Mobley coming off the wing like this. Ever. That's the first time in the history of the Cavs have ever run that. And he looked
took advantage of it.
So confident in it. That's the progression we need to see from Mobley.
Yeah.
And it may be a little thing each and every game, but that's something he didn't have the capability or the confidence to do a month ago.
And he was aggressive after getting the ball.
And he's slowly getting into what he does best.
All right.